Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make this amazing bracelet that can also be made into an anklet and possibly even a choker. Now, over a decade ago, I showed you guys in a tutorial how to make my favorite variation of the daisy chain stitch. And that video has well over 1 million views. Now after I did that, I showed how you can take the same exact stitch and just change the color of the beads and get completely different looking designs. Now exactly a year ago, I figured out how to make a seed bead butterfly. And it was so darn amazing. I've tried for a long time to figure out how to make a butterfly, but finally it hit me like a brick wall. And I got it. And I thought, man, I should do the daisy chain stitch with this butterfly stitch. Because in the past, I've made a ladybug ring. And for the ring band, I did, so it was a ladybug on the top, and the ring band I did flowers and leaves, so it was really cool. I also did a scarab beetle. Maybe I can find a picture, put that up. And so I thought, man, I should do the daisy chain stitch with butterflies. And so I figured that out. And it was so darn awesome. And then I was like, well, what if people don't like flowers? What if they just want all butterflies? And so I tried putting the butterflies together in a straight line, and it didn't work out. So I realized that I had to have one facing up and one facing this way. So it had this zigzag look with the butterflies, and it was amazing because there was no up and down. It was reversible, and it looked like butterflies migrating, like they were all flying together. So I'll put a picture up of the tutorial I'm talking about. Now that was a year ago, and earlier this year, I think it was in the springtime, you guys loved that design so much, you wanted me, and I asked in that video, would you like new variations, because I think I can go further with that tutorial there, and a lot of you said yes, and so I thought, well, I should see if I could do a honeybee. And so earlier this year, I figured out how to do a bee, but I only made the bee one time, okay? And then I had all this work and stuff come up, and I just couldn't find time to work on the tutorial. It was just constant. I was so busy. Things were happening all the time. I felt like I was being held back from working on it. And then, and on top of that, when I did get time to work on it, I would get sick. So there's like, near the end of the month, I might have a window to work on other projects. And then I got sick. So this time, I got a lot of work done this month, and I thought, I think I have time to do it. And guess what? I got sick. Not with a cold. I just have not been feeling well. I've had lots of migraines, and I'm just not feeling well. Anyways, I was determined. And I went to go sit down one night, and I'm thinking, I could figure out how to get this right, and then I can film the video tomorrow. And so I sat down to make it, and I made one bee, and it was fine. And then what I did, my pattern was just like the original, so I alternated them. So I had first the flower, bee, flower, butterfly, flower, and I went to make the bee again. And the bee was made completely differently than the first one. I'm like, what? So I ended up just making it, and then when I went to go do the butterfly wanted to be upside down. I'm like, this makes no sense. And so I've been messing with it, and it has been so crazy how this has come up. It was getting to the point where I thought, I can't do a tutorial on this. This is not going to make sense. It's going to be like 3 hours long, because I would have to make the entire thing, because every time I went to make it, it would be differently every time, and you guys would just be so confused. People would give up on it, and like, maybe I shouldn't do a tutorial, but I kept on working on it. I'm like, I gotta do this, I gotta get it done. And so I finally figured it out. And I am so excited because this has been in the making for so long and I finally have it. So I just want to let you guys know what I go through to come up with these designs sometimes. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so a lot of work, a lot of time, but I cannot wait to show you how to make this. It's so darn cute. Now I do recommend that if you did not make my variation of the daisy chain stitch, I recommend you go and watch that video first. I made that video when I was like a child. At least I sound like a child in the video. I will link that video down below, okay? Learn how to do that first. And then I recommend you to do the butterfly after you have that done. And then come back here and do all three. Flowers, butterflies, and the bee. And you guys are going to be so happy once you figure this out, alright? So let's go ahead and get into this. Just a little reminder, I am still collecting donations to get a new video camera because I am still using the same video camera that I started this YouTube channel with back in 2011. It's really darn old now and it's been acting up a lot. So if you love my work and you want to support me, I would really appreciate it if you could donate towards me getting a new video camera. So this is how you do it. And by the way, YouTube changes this all the time, but currently how it's set up, if you want to donate, down below the video, right over here in this corner, you will see a little square. That is the full screen button. So if you click on that, this video will expand on your computer screen or your cell phone and it will totally fill up your screen so you can see me better. And also there's a little gear somewhere here. If you click on that, you can also put me in HD 1080p so it's clear so you can watch me better. Now down here in the corner, okay, below the full screen button, you will see a circle with 3 white dots in it. Click that and you will have options. You'll see in there, you'll see a heart with a $sign in it and it says thanks. That is the super thanks button. So you can click that and donate money towards a new video camera there. Only thing is that YouTube does take like 30% of the money that you give to me, which really stinks for me to give a new camera. So it's going to take me longer to raise money to get a new camera. But yeah, if you guys can help, I would really appreciate it. I've shown you guys how to do so many things and I've been doing YouTube since 2011, so I've been here for a long time. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive into the materials. So you're going to need to cut 6 feet of 8-pound or even 6-pound. If you don't have 8-pound, you can do 6-pound. And I usually do use fireline. But this time I am using Nano. This is made by Berkeley. This is like the sister to fireline. So it's pretty much like the same thing. But again, you will need 6 or 8-pound. And you will need 6 feet, it's very important, 6 feet of thread for this project. You're also going to need a size 10 beading needle, and you're going to need seed beads. And I wrote down my colors. You'll see down there below in the description bar the material list. You're also going to see links to the previous videos I did, and I'm also going to put the colors I'm using down there below in the description bar, so you can go through your stash and collect them and stuff for the project, or see what you need to buy. So I'm using, you can use 11/0 or 10/0 seed beads, but I'm using 10/0 seed beads, and you can use 2 different brands I have found best for this. I've used Czech and Miyuki. Both are great for this project, but for this project I am using 10/0 Czech Preciosa seed beads because you can actually buy them in this color combo here. Now I have already made this and taken it apart because I've had so many issues, but there is a color mix of seed beads that you can buy. This is what it looks like. Now it doesn't come in this tube, but I think you can find it on like Shipwreck Beads, that color mixer there, and you should be able to make this. You could check it in the picture, make sure you got all the colors, but you should be able to make this bracelet with that Czech Preciosa color mix if you can find it on the interwebs. You could probably find it on Etsy. That's probably the best place, okay? Now, you're also going to need jump rings or split rings. I am using jump rings because I'm using a stainless steel clasp, so I have stainless steel jump rings. They're 6mm, they're pretty small, and I'm using a tiny stainless steel clasp. This is a 9mm clasp. You don't have to have this size, but because my bracelet, I think it's going to be 7 3/4 or 7 1/2, then I have to add the clasp on. I was trying to stay short, so for it to stay shorter, I'm using a smaller clasp, because if I use a bigger clasp, the bracelet is going to be longer. Make sense? Something you always got to think of. Alright, so this is the list of materials, and like I said, I'm going to link all of this down there below in the description bar along with all the colors I'm using to make this project. I have my color mix here, and I'm going to start by picking up my flower color. And I'm going to have two different color flowers, red and blue. So I'm going to have a red flower first, so I have to pick up 2 beads for my flower. Okay, so 2 red. And then I have to pick up my leaf color, and I will need 5 of those. Okay, so this is my beads in total. 2 red and 5 green. Now slide these down, and we're going to make a little loop for our closure. And you know, traditionally, way back when, every time you ever started seed beads, you would never start making the clasp. You would always have a stupid stopper bead. And I just thought that was kind of ridiculous. Just start making the clasp. Well, actually, it just depends on the design, but yeah. Okay, so what I do is I measure my tail, and I like to leave a 6-inch tail, because that just seems to be like the best length to go back through for your work. So I hold at the 6-inch mark like this, okay, and I take my needle and I pass back through all of these beads, and I hold it like this, take the tail through, and then I scooch this down, okay, like this, and I get my 2 ends to meet. Now I measure this to make sure it's 6 inches. Sometimes I move my fingers, but I didn't that time. Okay, so it's about 6 inches. You can adjust it by pulling this a little bit. Okay, I just adjusted it some. So let me see. Okay, it's right on, 6 inches. Now I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. So over and under 1 time, and bring the knot down slowly, because if you don't, you can grab a bead in your knot. Okay, so there's the first part of the knot, and then I go over and under twice, 1 and 2, and again bring it down slowly so you don't catch on to any beads. Okay, and once you get it in the right place, pull it tight, and I like to stick my finger in it because it's kind of collapsed on itself, and I need it to form a little circle. Okay, I have a pencil here. Let's stick this pencil on it. Alrighty, there we go. Now it's a little circle. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put my tail to the side. I'm going to put the corner of my finger, now like this, in here. Pull this down. And I'm going to take the needle and go up through these 2 red seed beads, like this. Okay? And pull this through. I'm going to move this out of my way, I don't need it. And I'm going to pick up 2 red for my flower in the center of my flower, so a little yellow seed bead, like this. Now I'm going to flip this over, because I have to stitch up in this direction. So I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go through that top seed bead like this. Okay? Pull this through. There's half of the flower. Now I have to pick up 2 red, and I'm going to sew down through this red seed bead that's sticking out sideways. It's the only one that's doing it. Okay? Pull this through. Okay, now you have to put this between your fingers and pull this thread back this way so that it tightens up. Okay, and then I have to pick up my green color again, and now I'm going to pick up the color of my next bug, which will be the bee this time, not the butterfly. So I'm going to pick up the color of the wing, that will be white, and then I have to pick up green again. Okay, like this, and I have to take the needle coming out the bottom red. I'm going to go through this one, like this. Okay, hold it between your fingers and pull all your thread through. Okay, and I'm going to have to pull this tighter because it's feeling and looking loose. So just go like that. Okay, it looks better. Now what I have to do is pick up green, because we're going to have a straight line of green, that's our leaves, right? And then a white seed bead for the wing. Like this. go up through this white seed bead, hold this between your fingers so it doesn't loosen up, and pull your thread through. Okay, so again I pull it tight. See how we now have a green line and we have a white line? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this down like this. So this is going to be the top and this is going to be the bottom, because I'm going to pick up 1 white bead for the wing. I'm going to pick up 4 black seed beads. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up 4 yellow seed beads. Okay, now I have to complete the wing, and the wing is going to have 5 white beads in each wing. I played around with all different kinds of numbers of beads to get this bee to look right, and I thought this was the cutest version of the bee. I liked him with smaller wings. He looked more proportionate. Okay, so I have to pick up 2 white. So I have 2 here, 1 here, that's 3, and then 2 more, that's 5 beads. Hold this between your fingers and pass the needle through these 2 white beads. I'm going to pull this tight and then bring all of these beads down by pulling my thread. Okay, and I now have this. Now what I have to do is take my needle and I'm going to pass through the 1 white seed bead and through 4 black seed beads like this. Okay, pull your thread through, stop, pull this tight. Okay, now pick up your other wing, and that means you're going to pick up all 5 of your white seed beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Always check your bead counts because they like to jump on and sometimes they jump off. And now I'm going to take the needle. I have to plug my computer in, it's time. Okay, I'm going to take the needle and go through the yellow. Put it between your fingers and hold onto it so it doesn't get loosened up. Okay, I'm going to stop. It's because I want you guys to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I just added those 5 over here. So again, I have to stop, hold it between my fingers, and pull this tight because you could see the exposed thread that we just added right there. Okay, pull that tight. Now the yellow is going to be on the top because that's where I'm going to put his eyeballs. And then the black will be at the bottom. So now what I have to do is reposition my needle and go through these black seed beads here because I have this big gap. So I'm just going to pull his body together because right now his body is like open, right? So just go through the 4 blacks. So see how I have all my thread tightened up? You can't see loose thread there. So just like this, pull this through. Okay. It's coming together. We're in the middle of his body. Now I'm going to add the rest of his body. So that's going to be 3 yellow. And I'm going to go through all 4 black again. Okay, so like this. Now, see how there's loose thread right there? To fix that, I just have to pull this thread. See, it tightens it up, and then pull this. Okay, and then fold this down and pull this tight. Now go through all 3 like that. Hold it between your fingers. And my thread's trying to tie a knot here, so I'm just going to go back through this loop, untangle. Okay, it's untangled, and then pull that down. There we go. Now we're going to make his little butt stinger. So 2 black seed beads through the yellow, like this. We're just making circles, and when we pull the circles down, the beads stack. This is actually an old technique to make the little lizards. You guys remember the seed bead lizards when I was a kid? You can go buy a keychain kit to make a lizard keychain. And it's pretty much made this way, but you'd use 2 needles instead of 1, 2 needle weave. So I'm going to go through the 2 black seed beads Okay, and we're going to add the stinger here. So that's the top part of the stinger. And I'm going to pick up one now, and I do try to find like a wider one, because some of these are more narrow, some of them are wider. Okay, and then right here I go through the 2 black. Okay, and I completely flatten it between my fingers and pull it tight, because sometimes it will want to flip up onto itself. It's just its nature. Now I'm going to zigzag back up through here, and I have to exit out of this yellow bead. This is the whole secret. I have to exit out of the yellow bead right here, going into the wing basically. And the whole thing was, in order for this to turn out right, is I had to exit out of the bead going down the wing. If I exit out coming up the wing, then my butterfly would be upside down. So very important. So I'll show you the little trick where I have to make the switch when I get there. So I'm going to take the needle and I have to sew back up. So I'm going to go through the 3 on this side because my thread's coming out here. So I'm just going to sew through those 3 yellow. Okay. And then I have to go through these black. So again, hold it flat between your fingers and pull your thread. Now I have to stitch through, because this is what happens when I go through these black. I gotta get my needles to come out so I can show you. Okay, when I go through the black, it's going this way. So how am I supposed to come out of the yellow beads going this way when my needle's coming out of the black this way? What would happen if I went through here? I would come out over here, and then I would add my eyes on, and I would still be stuck over here, and I have to figure out how to get back over here, and I have to exit out going down. So to fix this problem, I realized all I needed to do is not go through all 4 black, but to go through 2 black. So I back out, okay, and I'm just gonna go through 2 of the black seed beads. So I'm coming out the yellow, go through 2 black, and I'm gonna be in the center. This little trick right here made such a huge difference. Okay? Again, put it between your fingers, pull it. So now I'm in the center. I need to come out the yellow to add my eyes, and then I have to go into the wing, and I have to come out of the wing going down in order for my butterfly to be sitting straight up instead of upside down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up through these 2 yellows. Okay? So my needle is going this way. So what it's actually doing is it's pulling these 2 rows together so there's not such a big gap between them. Okay? So pulling this. See how I have this little thread right here. So I went through the 2 black and I went through these 2 yellow. Now I'm coming out here. Now I can add my eyes. So the eyes is a black, a yellow, and a black. And you might want to make sure your eyes are proportionate, because some of them were bigger than others, I realized. So like one bee had 1 giant eye and 1 little eye. Okay, so there's my 3 beads. Now what I have to do is go back through all of these yellow ones to connect my eyes on here. Okay. And while I'm at it, I'm going to sew through the top 2 white seed beads. So pull this through. Okay, and then flip the eyes up, hold the bee flat between your fingers, and pull it. And there's our first bead. So cute. Okay, so the bee is also going to be at an angle just like the butterfly is, which I think looks really nice. Now what I have to do is stitch down through this 3rd white seed bead. And there he is. He's so darn cute. When I first made him, I actually had 6 white beads in his wings, and it looked weird. His wings were too big for his body. Okay, now I have to go back to the green and the flower, but I'm going to do a different flower color. So I pick up a green, my next flower color, which will be blue, and a green, like this. And I'm going to stitch up through this white seed bead. Okay? Like this. Alright, and then I pick up 1 green and 1 blue, and I'm going to stitch down through this blue seed bead. So you can put your needle in there, but once you get in there, you're going to want to hold it between your fingers because it wants to unravel every time. Okay, so there we have that. So cute. Now I'm going to finish my flower. In order to do that, I pick up 2 blues and a yellow. And I go through this top blue seed bead, going up. Again, hold it between your fingers so it doesn't loosen up. And we now have this. I pick up 2 blue. Okay. Now just below this yellow seed bead, you want to go through this blue one here. Now, see how it's loosening up on me? Hold it like this, pull this tail, that makes it tight, and then pull your needle through. Okay, and then we should have a completed flower just like that. Okay, I'm going to go back to the green leaves again, but I also have to start my butterfly. So I pick up one color of my leaf and then my next bug color. Instead of white, I'm going to do 1 orange and 1 green. And I go up through this bead. And again, hold it between your fingers and pull your needle through. Like that. I'm going to pick up green again and then another orange. Okay? Put your needle through the orange, and so it doesn't loosen up, hold it between your fingers and pull your needle through. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to pick up 3 orange. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to sew down these 2 orange. Okay, hold it between your fingers. We're making a little circle. Okay, then once you get all that down, let go, and that's what we have. I have to put an orange seed bead here, just 1. So I pick up 1 orange seed bead, and I stitch through these 2. So again, hold it between your fingers, pull it through, and right here is the seed bead. This one is the one that I just put on. Okay? So stop, make sure you have no exposed thread, make sure it's tight. Now what I'm going to do is pick up the body of my butterfly, and I want one that looks wide. That one was scrawny looking. That one's okay. And then an orange, and another body bead. So that would be another black. Ugh, it hopped off. That one, okay. Like this. The black beads are for the body. So I'm coming out of this orange bead here. I want to go down to the second bead, so below the one I'm coming out of, this one here, I'm going to go down this bead, okay? Just like this. Now this doesn't loosen up, that part that I just made, so I don't have to hold my finger over it. Okay, now see how the beads line up? So I pull it tight. I'm going to pick up another body bead, so another little black and another orange, like this. And go through the orange. Now this will loosen up, so I have to put my fingers over this area here and pull this down. And see how I turn my hand so that it goes in the angle I'm pulling? And now my black bead's lined up, and there's my little butterfly body, the center of his body. And if you look back over here, what this kind of is, it's kind of like we made this part here. It kind of looks like another flower, right? But we don't have a center. And then this black part is kind of like the green part here. You get what I'm saying? And then we're going to make like another flower again, but we're going to pick the beads up differently. But that's how I figured this out. So another 3 orange, like this. And sew up through these 2 orange. Put them between your fingers. Okay, and there we go. Now I have to stitch back down, but this is loose. See my thread right there? Pull that tight. I have to stitch back down through all 3 that I just added. So through those 2. Okay. Wants to get loose, don't let it. And then through this one, so that's all 3. If you have any problem with this, I really recommend that you go watch how I did the daisy chain first and the butterfly first, because the butterfly, first making it, it was kind of confusing, and then making this bead, like if you're doing this for the first time, this tutorial for the first time, you probably will be confused. So that's why I said go back, watch the first 2 videos so this makes more sense. Okay, so this is what I have now. Now remember I added a seed bead here. I have to do the same for this side. So 1 orange, go up through these 2 oranges, like this. Again, hold it between your fingers, and that bead should sit right at the bottom, just like this. So now the 2 bottom wings match. Okay, I'm going to take the needle and go through this 1 black seed bead. I'm going to turn this now upside down like this so it's easier to hold, and I'm going to pick up 6 orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes. Okay, I'm going to go through this orange seed bead, just the 1. Hold it and look what it does. There's my top wing. Now I need to go through this orange one, so when I pull this down, I just added this orange one here. Okay, so pulling this, I have to go through this 1 orange that I just added and through the black. See? Okay, so bring that down. Pull it tight, and there we go. Now I'm going to pick up 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double check. I'm going to go through this orange. So this wing's going to do the same thing. So again, watch. So I'm going to turn my hand so I can pull it in the direction. Okay. My 6 beads are coming up. And see how there's this gap between this black bead here and this orange seed bead? An orange bead will pop into that gap. Okay. And there it is. Sitting right here. So I have to go through this orange bead that just popped into place, because it's sitting in front of the black bead and I have to go through the black bead. So I'm going to go through this first orange and through the black. Makes sense, right? Now hold this between your fingers. Pull that tight. Now I could stop there, but I love the look of antennas on my little butterfly, so I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads, and I do try to pick up seed beads that look more narrow because they just sit better in this little area here. So I think those look kind of narrow. Okay, and I'm going to go through the black bead again, and while I'm at it, I'm going to go straight through this wing if the beads allow me, and they do. Okay, so through that 1 black, picked up 2, coming out the black, picked up 2, going through those 3 orange right there. Okay, again you have to hold it between your fingers. Bring these down, and they're going to sit right on top of the body, and they sit up at first, but I will make them lay down. I'm going to go through these 2 orange on the side here. Okay, now lay the antennas down, and you could see, dropped my needle, that there's still space here. So I'm going to go through 1 more orange and then add my black seed bead. Okay, so just like that. So I came out the black right here, and I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orange seed beads. Now there's a little gap between this orange and this black seed bead, so I just pick up 1 black seed bead and I elongate the antennas. So I go through the 2 black right there, and this just makes him look like he has long curvy antennas. It's so cute. Another black. Okay, and I go through, well, I skip over this orange and this orange, and I go through those 2. Okay, so I'm going to flip it this way now. And I'm going to flip it back up. Pull it tight. And there we go. Look at that. It's so cute. Now this has to go down through another orange bead. So I go through 3 orange beads at the end. After I make the antenna, I go through 1, 2, 3 orange beads. Now there's 2 orange beads that are going straight up and down. Okay, and those are the ones that I'm going to use to add my next flower. So red flower, blue flower, I have to do red flower again, but remember I have to start with my leaf beads, so that is 1 green leaf, 1 red flower bead, and 1 green. Okay, now I have these 2 here, and if you do the daisy chain stitch, you will notice after doing it over and over that there is a pattern of 2 beads, 3 beads, 2 beads, 3 beads, and another 2 beads, and it's just, that's how it is, that's how it forms. So when I added these into the daisy chain stitch, I knew that I had to have 2 beads right here, these 2 white ones at the beginning, 2 at the end, same with the butterfly, 2 orange here, 2 orange there, in order to connect them into this stitch. So here's my 3 beads, a leaf, a flower, and a leaf color. I'm going to go up through that top bead right there. Okay? Again, hold it between your fingers, pull it through, stop, pull it tight, make sure you have no loose thread. Pick up another green bead and another flower bead. Okay, colors. And then go down through the red bead. Now I really did want to play with more colors in this project, but I just did not have the time. Like I said, I've been crazy busy, and then I had all these problems when I made this. But if you want more color options, go to the butterfly one, the first one that I did, because I did a lot of different color options in that bracelet. I'll put the picture up again. Just look at all the different color combinations I did. I thought I did a good job. Alright, so we're back at our flower, and I'm coming out of 2 red. I have to pick up 2 red again, and then the color for my little center of my flower. So through these, or through this bead, the red bead on the top. Okay, hold it between your fingers, pull your thread through. And by the way, when I did make the butterfly version only, I think I used more thread for that. So you're going to want to make sure that you check the material list for that. Okay, I'm holding this upside down. There we go. Right side up. Like this. I'm going to pick up 2 red. And then go down. Skip over the yellow. Go down this one. Hold it between your fingers. Okay, so like I said, in the daisy chain stitch, 2 beads, 3 beads, 2 beads, 3 beads, 2 beads. I'm going to do 3 beads again, back to the green, and we're going back to our bee. So I have to pick the color of my bee wing up now. So it's going back to white. So green, white, and green. I'm coming out the bottom bead of the 2 beads that are here. I have to go up through the top. And again, hold it between your fingers. Just like this. I have to pick up green again, and then the white for my bee. I'm going to go down through the white seed bead like this. So hold it between your fingers, pull this through, and I feel like it's loose, so I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to adjust it by pulling some of these beads here, making it tight. It looks really good. Okay. Back to the bee. It's going to be made the same exact way as the first one, because this only just makes sense. So this is sitting up, straight up, it's not upside down. I pick up 1 of the wing color. Then I pick up 4 black for the body color. Okay, slide those down. Pick up 4 yellow, again for the body color, like this. And then pick up 2 white for the wing color. So these are the beads. This is the most beads I pick up at one time in this whole project, right there. Again, there has to be 5 white beads in the wings. So slide those down like this. Take the needle and pass through these 2 white seed beads. Again, I'll hold this between my fingers because it loosens up if you don't. And also you'll jerk it out of your hands if you don't hold it like that. Okay, now I have this. Now I take the needle and I go through the white. This is the crucial part of this whole design. Through the white and through the 4 black. Okay? Once you go through those black, make sure it's all tight. Mine is. You're going to pick up your next wing. All 5 beads. 5 white. 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now take your needle and go through the 4 yellow. Like this. Hold it between your fingers. Pull this through. It's very important you don't have loose thread. So I like to hold it like this. Okay, and pull it tight. Looks good. Now take the needle and go through these black beads. All 4. We're going to stitch down, make up his whole body, put his little stinger on, and then we're going to weave back up. We have to make the switch in the middle, then we add his eyes. And then we go into the wing going down. We have to go down. Very important. You have to come down every time. If you're doing this and you're finding yourself coming up the wing, you did something wrong. And you gotta undo it. And just take the needle off, pull some seed beads, and start over again. You don't have to start the whole thing over again, but just get to a point where you know that it's correct. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're coming out the black beads now. Just like this. Now I have to do 3 yellow. Okay, I got a little fuzzy. A little fur there. 3 yellow, and go through the 4 black. Like this. Okay, and it got loose right there. So to fix that, I pull this, and then this, and then I flip this down and pull it tight like that, and then I have to stitch through all 3 of the yellow. Hold it between your fingers like this. Pick up 2 black for his little butt. Okay, go through the yellow in the opposite direction so that the beads stack like that. Go back through these black. Hold it between your fingers like this. Pull it tight. Add 1 bead for your stinger, and again I like to get a chunky one for this part, so when it's wide looking, that one's pretty wide. I'm going to go through these 2 black in the opposite hole that I'm coming out of, which causes the beads to stack. Okay, and then I have to weave back through, so through 3 yellow. Okay, through these 2, this is the important part. Another important part. You have to go through 2 black. Only through 2 black. Okay, we just added the little stinger going back up to the body. Go through 2 black seed beads. This is where we have to change the position of our needle so that we could pick up our eyes. And we have to go back into the wing, exiting down. Not up. Down. So then through these 2 yellow. Okay, so there's going to be a thread path straight through the middle, which I really like, I have to say, because I feel like there's a big gap between those 4 beads. So it really just worked out for the best. Like that. Pulls it together more. And then pick up your eye beads. You're going to need to pick up a black, a yellow, and a black, and try to get your eye beads to look the same. Unless you like them looking crazy. Okay, I'm going to flip this upside down because it's easier for me to go through these yellow beads. And while I'm at it, go through 2 of the wing beads. Okay, and I'll flip it back this way just so it looks better for you guys. And pull the needle through. Okay, and those eyeballs should pop right on top, like that. I'm coming out the wing, but I have to go through 3 white beads. This is also very important. Make sure you go through 3 white beads. Because this is going to be sitting at an angle, the bee and the butterflies, they're at angles. So it will be these 2 right here that we're working off of. Okay? Now pull this tight. And there we go. Look at that. It's so darn cute. Okay, we have to make the leaf part again and the flower. And we already did the red, so we're going to go to the blue flower now. So it's going to be green, and then the flower color, and green, like this. Coming down this white seed bead, I'm going to go up the next one. Okay, so pull that through, like that. And then a green, and then a blue. Go down through the blue seed bead and hold it between your fingers. Don't let it loosen up. Okay, and then we have this, so I stop and I just tighten it just like that. Okay, basically we're down here. We are down here, Xing out of this second blue bead, if you look back. Now I'm going to pick up 2 blue and my yellow color for the center. Coming out the bottom, I'm going to go up through the top one like this. Again, put it between your fingers. Like this. Okay, I have to pull that there, and then like this. Pick up 2 blue. 1 and 2, and sew down through this blue one that's below the yellow. Hold it between your fingers, and your flower's done. Okay, I'm going to pick up my green now, and I'm going to start my next bug, which will be this butterfly. So it's going to be green, orange, and green. Up through the top, those 2 seed beads again I talk about that we use so much. Up to the top one. Hold it between your fingers. Pull this through like this. And this is loose, but I will tighten it, so I'm going to pick up an orange, a green, and then my orange. Okay, so I'm going to stop, tighten it. Sometimes you have to grab this bottom one here. Pull this bottom seed bead so that it straightens up like that. Okay, and then I got my green and orange, and I'm going to go through this orange one. Again, hold it between your fingers. See what I'm doing there? Just like that. Okay, make sure it's tight. I'm going to pick up 3 orange, and I sew down through these 2 orange. Okay, then I pick up 1 orange, and I go up through these 2 orange. Hold it between your fingers. Like that. Now I have to pick up the body for my butterfly. So 1 black, 1 orange, and 1 black. Coming up the top orange, I'm going to go through the one just below it. And I think I just got twisted around my thread. There it goes. Pull that tight and bring this down. Okay, then pick up a black bead for your body and an orange, and go up this orange seed bead. Hold it between your fingers. like this. I have 2 orange, I need 3 more to complete my wing, and then I have to add 1 extra. 3 orange. I'm going to go in this way in the opposite direction to make a little circle. So pull this tail, because I saw that was loosening up, and then bring your needle through. Okay, and there we go. Now I have to sew back down all 3 of these to add my bottom bead. So like this. Okay. See the little gap down here? Pull this tight. Like this. Pick up 1 orange and go up through these 2 orange. Like this. Hold it between your fingers again. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm going to take the needle and go through the black, the body part right there. I'm going to turn this so I can work on it better. I'm going to pick up 6 orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now I'm going to take the needle, and again, studying how this is, there's a gap here between this orange and this black, and there's another gap here. There will be an orange bead that will pop into those gaps. So take the needle, go through this orange bead. Not the black, just the orange. And then when you pull these down, your first orange bead will pop in to that gap. Okay, that I was just talking about. See it? So your thread has to go through that first orange because it's in the way of going into the black. So through that first orange and then through the black. See? Like this. Pull that tight. Now pick up 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like this. And I'm gonna go through this orange bead. And again, I will have another orange bead pop into that gap. So pull this down. Okay, my wing comes up. And this is what I have. I have to take the needle and go into that first orange bead that popped into my gap, and then through the black seed bead. Like this. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this like this. Pull this through. And there's my little butterfly. So I'm gonna stop. Pull this tight. Which direction am I pulling? Here. Okay. So now this thread is going back into the back side where I've already done all this work that way. And now I'm coming at the black bead. Like I said, I try to get 2 narrow looking black seed beads because it just seems to look better for his antennas. Okay, so those 2 are kind of narrow looking. And I go back through this black seed bead, making a circle with my thread basically. And I'm also going to go through these orange ones here on the side. Like this. So I managed to get through 3. Pull this through. They're going to sit on top. You can lay them down flat and then pull it to see how many beads you have to go through. So I'm going to go through this one here. It's an awkward angle. Okay. And then I'm going to go through these 2 because I have to add just 1 to make my antennas longer. So I can see that I have 1 seed bead that will go in that little gap there. Okay. So coming out, and I'll count them for you. I'm coming out right here. This bead. I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed beads. And have this little gap here to put another seed bead. Okay, so pick up 1 black and I go through these 2. And it sits right there in that little gap. Pick up another black. Okay, and when you line this up, see there's a little space right here. So I go through these 2. You could tell it's just going to fit just right. Pull it tight. See? Okay, and then turn this, because you have to go down through 3. 1, 2, 3. And I think that's how wasn't the wing like that, and also the bead? I think it was. I had to go through 3. I'll go back and look. Yeah. I went down through 1, 2, 3 beads in the wing, and then I started the greenery. So it's the same with the butterfly too. I'm doing greenery because I just finished the butterfly, and my next flower color, I just did blue, so it's going to be red again, and then the greenery. Okay, I went through 3 beads in my wing. I have to go up through this top one. Like that. Pick up 1 green and 1 of my flower colors and go down through the flower color like this. Again, see, it got loose. So you have to pull that thread and then put it between your fingers so that it does that. Now, 2 red and a yellow like this, and go up through the top red. Hold it between your fingers and pull that tight. 2 red like this, and down through this red. Pull that tight. Okay, I think this is the best place for me to stop filming this, and all you have to do is rewind the video to back here when we made the first flower. So when you make the first flower, you're coming out of the flower, you're going to pick up your greenery. So rewind the video till I made that first flower, completed the first flower, and we're going to start picking up the greenery, okay? And you just continue making it. Follow all the same steps again, and that will get you again to the half point in your bracelet. When I get to the end of this, I will be ending with a flower, same spot I am now, and I'm going to pick up the other side of my seed bead loop and my clasp. I kept on going, following all of the same steps that I just showed you, and I'm now here at the end, and I'm ready to put my loop on, reinforce it, tie knots, and add my clasp. But I thought that I would show you how to get different lengths, so customize this bracelet for yourself or somebody else, okay? So I went into my jewelry box, and this was the original butterfly one that I made. The only difference between this one and this one is I used a different green seed bead, looks like, and I did white butterflies instead of bees. So laying this on top of this, they're actually the same exact length. How cool is that? So I'm going to be using the same stainless steel clasp for this bracelet that I used for this one. So measuring this with the clasp to see how long this one will be, my bee and butterfly bracelet will be 7 3/4 inch long, okay? Now, if you want this to be shorter, instead of doing, I did 10-0 Czech Preciosa seed beads for this one and this one. This one here was another one that I had made in the first video, all butterflies, just different colors. This is mostly Czech Preciosa. The only one that's not is the bronze, that's Miyuki, and Czech Preciosa and Miyuki are so similar, you can use them together. Very similar. You probably would not have known they were different brands if I didn't tell you. Now this one here, because I used 11-0s in this one, I actually managed to get 9 butterflies instead of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Measuring this though, it's 8 inches long. Okay? So let's say that I stopped here. That would give me a 7-inch bracelet done with 11-0 seed beads. And if that fits you, then that's great. But let's say you're making this for somebody else, you don't know what size they need. What you could do, if they have small wrists, you know they have small wrists, you can go to the 7-inch, add your seed bead loop, and maybe add a little extender chain. And you don't even have to make it that long. You can make it like 1 inch long just to get you to 8 inches, or add like 1.5 inches, and that would get you to, you know, 8.5 inches. You can add a little bead dangle at the end, whatever. And then this one here, I guess I should measure this one because it has the clasp on it. This one here, if I were to do 7 butterflies or 7 bugs, it would get me to 6 3/4 inch. So that's really small. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. And again, you can add an extender to that. It's up to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this. It's going to be pretty easy. Coming out of the flower, you want to make sure your thread is tight. Okay, and hold this between your fingers. Pick up 5 green, just like at the beginning. Okay, you want to take your needle, and you want to form a circle of the green, and you want to pass back down through these 2 red, like this. So hold this between your fingers, making sure it's tight, and bring those beads down, like that. I'm going to reinforce these, so I'm going to go back through them a second time. Okay, there's 1, well, I went through 3. Now there's 1 time. I'm going to go through the red again, so I have 2 completed circles. Okay, I have this, and I think I'm going to pass through it 3 times in total. Yeah, I'll do the same with the other end. So the other end I have 2 passes. I'm going to go again, and through these 2 again. I'm going to go through this loop of the green beads. Okay, make a loop like this, and pass through this twice. I'm going to try to hide my knot in the red seed beads. Like this, go through the loop a second time, and I need my knot to fall right here. Okay, right there. Pull the knot down, pull it tight, and then pull your knot into the red beads. So go through these 2. Okay, and my knot is hidden. Like that. Now I'm going to follow my old thread path. So I'm going to go through the red. Okay. And I could tie another knot right here. I have to grab this thread, make a loop, and pass, well, I'll pull it down more, pass through this twice, like this. Oh, it came undone. I went through the wrong direction. Come on. Okay, bring that down, and then pass the needle through these 2 red. And then hide your knot, pull your knot into there. And then I'm going to go through this green one. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to grab this thread, make a loop here, and go through it twice. Pull it down. Okay, then I'm going to go through these 2 orange. And then I could tie a knot here. And pull the knot down in between these 2 orange. Okay, and then let's see. Let's go through. I'll try to go straight. Can I get through 3? Yeah, I got through 3. Orange. Okay, I'm gonna pull this through. And I have some options. I think I'm going to go straight across and go down this way. So I don't think I want to tie any knots here because it's a weird place. Let's see. Okay. So that, can't see any knots. And then I don't want to go down here. I don't have a thread path there yet. Now I did just shoot through like 7 beads right there, and that's totally fine because all of those beads are lined up and that worked for me. Now what I actually needed to do is skip over this bead, so I'm going to go back to this one. Only needed to come out the 2 orange. Because see how what I did before is I went down through this way? So I'll do that down through here. Okay, so that's not warping my design. And then I'm going to go and grab this thread here between the orange and green bead, and I'm going to make a knot here. So make a loop, pass through it twice, and bring this knot down. And then go through the green. So I'm going to come down here because I want to make sure that you reinforce this a 3rd time, because we only went through here twice. So I'm going to go back through this a 3rd time. Okay, going down. And I have to go back through these to make a full circle. And then through this flower bead there, and then I start tying my knots. Okay, so pretty much the same thing. And then I'll shoot down through these 2. And I'll tie a knot on this side. Okay, I'll grab this thread. So it really did help doing this. As you saw, I got halfway through the bracelet. It really reinforced it for me. That tight through the green. And then weave through these 2. Okay. And then I will tie a knot here. As you can see, it's pretty simple. Just try not to make any thread paths where there aren't any, unless it doesn't, you know, change the design, warp it. You could try it and pull it, and if it looks like it's going to warp it, then back out. Okay, so now I'm going to go through all these, right? So I will keep going and finish this to make it really strong, okay? And I will put on one of my clasps here. So I'll lay this out and I'll get one of my jump rings. Just to twist these open. These are stainless steel, so they're crazy strong. Okay. It's just like this. Then I'll put on... I have to open it more. Put on my little seed bead loop here. And close it shut. And I like to hold it like this. Holy cow, it's so strong. Okay, just line it up. You have to like go far past in order to get it lined up because it springs back. Okay, so there's one end and I will do the other end. I have to finish tying knots and I'll be all done. So there it is. It's so cute, and I actually could have made it smaller. It is kind of loose on me, so it probably would have been better if I did it with 11 ounce. But it's just so darn cute. I really love how it turned out, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you understood everything. I almost gave up on this, but I just had to do it. I had to see it through. So remember, I am still collecting donations for a new video camera, so right down here in this corner you will see the full screen. It's a square. You click that, it makes a video full screen. Below that you will see a circle with 3 dots. Click on that and you will see a heart with a $, and that is the super thanks, the donation button. So we can get a new video camera. And I would like to get one that's 4K, because then it would be super duper clear. And sometimes, well, when I first got this camera, it was usually clear most of the time, but I guess because it's gotten older, slower, I don't know. Sometimes it has like a hard time focusing, like I have to sit and wait, and I'm like, come on, focus, and you know, it finally focuses. But yeah, it would be nice to have a new camera so everything's crystal clear. And I also wonder about the lighting. Maybe the lighting will also be better. That would be nice. I wouldn't have to have 4 lights on. Maybe I could videotape with 2 lights. That would be nice. So this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like this video. Leave me a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. And make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos. And follow me on my social media sites. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and X. Thanks for watching.